Jason and I are here tonight to talk about a special Facebook Live. We even have our puppy here, May, about this myth that you have to be perfect in order to date. So both of us work with people all the time who feel that, well, I'm too broken, or I'm not going to be lovable, or I've gone through too many things, and I'm not perfect yet. So let me wait till I'm perfect before I risk being vulnerable, before I risk being seen, before I risk really putting myself out there. And the beautiful thing is that neither of us were perfect when we were dating and when we met. And so it's a myth. You can let go of trying to be perfect and feeling like you have to accomplish something before you actually put yourself out there and date and get into a great relationship. So do you want to share?
It's definitely a big one, particularly for guys. I have to do X before I can Y. I have to make a certain amount of money. I have to have a certain amount of status. I have to have a certain amount of things fixed in my life before I can date. And the truth is, you don't. And just like also in the more spiritual world or the developmental world, we think, oh my God, there's so much wrong with me. I'm so broken. I'm never going to be able to date until I fix this or do this workshop or go through this part of my past or my history. And it's actually just not true. One of the things we see people get stuck on over and over is, oh, I have to fix that first, so I'll wait, or I can't possibly share that piece of myself with someone else because it'll drive them away. And right, the big trick of that is, well, ultimately you want to be with a partner who welcomes all the pieces of you and doesn't need you to actually be that different than you are.
Yeah, they embrace you as you are, and I think that, of course, it's important to have mentorship and guidance and to do our work. This isn't about letting go of responsibility and just saying, I'm amazing, I'm perfect, like everyone love me. But it is about recognizing that sometimes when we start our work, we get to a certain point where we're aware of so much now from our childhood or our past relationships or our own patterns that we think, oh my God, who's going to want me? Like, this is so much, and we can feel that we have all this excavating to do or all this, trauma healing to do or all of these deep things that need to happen. And of course, we need to bring light and consciousness and love to those spaces within ourselves, but there's also a reclaiming of our lovability just as we are. And Jason and I had some pretty crazy first few dates with a lot of vulnerability and a lot of shares about our backgrounds and the things that were hard for us in our life and what we were looking for in a partner, and really a level of depth and vulnerability that I had rarely experienced that early in relationship. And it was terrifying, but it was also really liberating to allow myself, I'll just speak for myself, to be really seen. And on our second date, we had kind of a disagreement about something, about what we were looking for. And I just wanted to run. I just wanted to be like, you're not my person, see ya, nice to meet ya, blah, blah, blah. But instead I was like, wow, here's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling scared. I'm noticing this in my body. I'm noticing that I want to run. And he's like, well, I'm noticing I want our date to continue. Can we go get tea? We'd gone dinner and gone to a party. And he was like, I'm like, okay, I'm open to that. And then at one point we were getting tea and I was feeling overwhelmed. And I'm like, I have to take care of myself. I have to go to the bathroom because I can't believe that I'm crying on a second date. And he was like, it's okay, I'm here. So that's just a little window into our, epic second date, which was a lot. It was a lot of sharing and a lot of openness. And you don't have to do that on the second date. You don't have to do that at any time. There's bounded vulnerability. We sometimes think, well, being vulnerable means that I have to share everything all the time. But being vulnerable just means that you're at choice. You're at choice to share. You're at choice to express yourself. And not everyone will be able to receive that. So if you practice vulnerability and it doesn't always go well, pat yourself on the back for being brave enough to do that. And not everyone will be able to meet you in your level of depth and your level of vulnerability. But it's actually the best way to tell what sort of partner is going to be able to create an amazing relationship.
You actually have to discover if this is the person for you. And you discover that by leading in, opening up with vulnerability and sharing these pieces and seeing how your partner reacts and interacts with you around that. Because the other trick about sometimes these pieces of ourselves that we think are broken or damaged, or I have to make this perfect before I can date, is most often they're the types of things that actually can only be healed in relationship itself. Mm-hmm. So you actually need to enroll and invite your partner into hey, I have this thing. I withdraw when this happens. And I need your help making sure that doesn't happen.
You do that.
I do that. But I actually can't heal that alone, right? It actually takes being in relationship to do that. If I had waited to learn how to not withdraw, never would have been ready to meet her.
Yes. I want to make a joke that not everything can be healed in the man cave. I'm just kidding. I appreciate your vulnerability. But yeah, and I mean, my vulnerability was I spent a lot of my life feeling broken and overcompensating by being super productive or going for like the best job or climbing the corporate ladder or running marathons or doing all these things because inside I felt unlovable and inside I felt broken. And then I created some experiences and I co-created some experiences with some other people that I dated where they literally said, like, what's wrong with you? You know, I am a survivor of sexual abuse, and I remember after an encounter with my boyfriend, he literally was like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you like sex? And I was feeling triggered, but I didn't know how to talk about it, so it just came to this huge, you know, problem in our relationship, and it reinforced the story that I'm broken, I'm not lovable, and there's something wrong with me. And I still fall back into that every once in a while. If something's not going right in the external world, I'll think, oh my God, there's something wrong with me, but if I fix that, then I can control things, you know, and it's like brings out a control freak in me. And Jason was making fun of me in a good way for that just a few days ago. Like, I can fall into this pattern of trying to control and using perfectionism as a way to try to control instead of just releasing this and saying, wow, you know what, I'm scared, or I need some support here, or here's something that I'm feeling really tender about, or I'm insecure about. So it becomes like this fun adventure. I would say it's a fun adventure because every day is different, you know, even though we've been together now 3.5 years or so, every day feels like a fresh beginning because we're coming to the table with what's arising for us in the moment. And it creates a lot of juiciness and aliveness in the relationship and inspires us to be our best self. Like, there's no hiding in this relationship. And I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to hide from Jason anyway. But it's really calling forth like my greatest gift of love for him, but also for my clients and for the world. So yeah, what else do you want to say?
Just that, yeah, part of what you want to discover is that, you know, when you're right with the right person, all those pieces of you think are broken or need to be fixed, they're going to love exactly as they are because they're part of what make you who you are, what make you unique. So just having the braveness to unveil that and reveal that to each other is part of the trick.
Mm-hmm. And I would say in addition to the braveness, because I think that's really important, is also a sense of certainty and confidence to say, you know what, if this person can't handle this, someone else definitely will, and it's probably going to be an even better fit. Like remembering that you have choice and remembering that if you're sharing something and it doesn't work, then it can actually get better. Like you might have just saved yourself a total disaster. And so braveness, but then also a groundedness and a certainty, like, yes, I will be in an amazing relationship, and yes, I will have a great partner, and we will create this beautiful love. It's just a matter of time and staying with the work and getting the support and getting the skills. And one of my favorite things that Jason says is sometimes when I'm sharing, he'll say, and what else? Tell me more. And it's like music to my ears. It's nirvana. I don't know if any of you women or men, you know, watching this have ever had that experience of having a share and then a partner actually kind of dismisses you, looks at their phone, yawns, doesn't ask a single question. Some of the most powerful experiences I've had when I've been sharing vulnerably with Jason is just him saying, wow, what else? He doesn't even need to ask me like this deep question. It's just a constant inquiry or a constant holding space for me to really playful out. And especially for women who have sometimes felt that they're too much, like, oh, I'm too much, or men can't handle me, or, you know, I'm afraid that I'm too much. You might be too much for that person, but it doesn't mean that you're too much. It just means that they can't hold a container big enough for your amazingness, and it's a good opportunity to see if they can stretch their container, or if they just, it was a bad timing, it was a bad moment, or if maybe they're just not going to be able to hold space to go as big as you want to play in your life. And I think it's super important that we pick partners that we can grow with. You know, I was in a sexless, pretty uninspired marriage for 5 years of my life, and it was a huge turning point to say, no, I want something more, and I deserve something more that's way more fulfilling and way more passionate. Anyway, that's a tangent. But I love it when you say that. What else? And tell me more.
Yeah. Yes and more. You know,
yes.
When you're with the right partner, they're just going to want more of you. And if you're with, for the ladies, if you're with a man and you can't handle your range of emotion, your grief, your sadness, your anger, your frustration, whatever that might be, he's got some work to do. It's probably true that he can't be with those pieces of himself. So give him to a men's group.
Yes. And speaking of, if he needs a men's group, Jason does amazing men's work. It's called evolutionarymen.com. And mine is violetlang.com/talk. And that's where you can learn more about the work we do and invite you to set up a call with either one of us or our teams to talk more about vulnerability in dating and relationship, self-love and self-respect and confidence. And then creating a partnership, or if you're in partnership, deepening that partnership so you're really playing full out with each other and in the world. So thank you so much for watching and listening. And our pooch is now laying down, and so if you see us moving our arms, it's because we have a cute little black lab puppy here who's still relaxing, and I guess she just wanted to be on Facebook Live tonight. So lots of love to you. Thank you, David. Bye.